Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool telephone, and this is HG's telephone from Delaware. And HG always has these really cool telephones that he sends in to have repaired. And he's got a letter here, and he's talking about how this is a British Telecom telephone. And this one is a really neat telephone. It has 287, and then it has Reliance on it. And so basically, this is the initial checkout of this telephone, and we're going to kind of, show a little bit of everything on the telephone and kind of go through it. So this is kind of what the handset looks like. And it's kind of funny that this is kind of an open situation here, but then the transmitter kind of has like a spit cup type look to it. And then we have the body off the telephone. It does not, or loose, it does not have a line cord in it. And then there's a screw. You just remove one screw out of the back of the body, and then it will lift up here, and you can remove it. So that's pretty cool. But what we found was the keypad just sits in the telephone, and I do believe it was supposed to be mounted in this area, and then it sits on top of the bell. It kind of just clips in here. So there's a couple of little bracket that comes out, and that just kind of folds into place. And then there's a screw that's supposed to be here. But it was all loose, and all the wires were just hanging out. Now, just from the looks of the electronics here, this telephone only dials out in pulse mode. So it's may look touch tone, but it's only going to dial out in the rotary or pulse signal. And star and pound is totally missing. So there is no buttons on this keypad. So it's only a 10-key push button. So even, and HG wants this to be touch tone. So even if it were touch tone, there is no option for pulse and star, or tone and star. So that's something that we'll have to talk over with HG and see what he wants to do. There's no buttons there, so we'll have to see what we can do. And this is kind of how it's arranged in the back, and we'd have to take it all apart. So, and that'll come in a later video showing how this keypad actually works. But we're going to have to figure something out to make it touch tone, and we'll kind of get into that in a later video. So that's the keypad to it, and then it has its bells. And we're going to have to go through them to see what's going on. I'm not sure they even work, and I don't know what the winding count is on them. So we'll just have to kind of get into that and see what we've got. Another issue was the handset cord is not connected either. So somebody's kind of thoroughly went through this telephone. I don't know if they were looking for a problem, or they just weren't sure what to do with it, or what was going on, or if it was, there must have been some reason they started taking everything apart, and it may have been pieced together. But in the back of this body, we have a square cut out here. So what we could do in a sense is put in a modular port there so that HG can simply walk up and plug a line cord into it. And just a very unique telephone. And he's got, in his letter here, it's a British Telecom telephone from the 70s. And sure enough, there's a date code on the bottom of it, and it looks like one of 73. So it's a very cool telephone. And it has kind of a unique hook switch situation. It's got a switch down here, and then it has somewhat of a network board and all your connections. So there's not a whole lot to this telephone, and if we turn it into touch tone, we're probably going to have to go to a more modern situation in a network and kind of either hybrid this telephone or just simply install another board that has touch tone capability, and then figure out which way we're going to deal with this keypad. Now, if we go to touch tone, we're probably going to have to change, get a look at this receiver capsule. That kind of gives you an idea of what their receiver capsule looked like in this telephone. So it's very different than what you would usually see in an American phone, and so it's totally different. But we deal with phones from all over, so it's not uncommon to see that type of a receiver capsule. And then this was their type of transmitter. And the impedance would be much different in this telephone. So we would, if we went with a different modern touch tone situation, we're not going to have the same impedance here. And I haven't checked this board out or gotten far enough into this conversion to figure out whether we want to use this board for our transmit and receive of our handset, or if we just want to go to a different style microphone and receiver. And HG always likes to have a switch. Now we're going to see if we can't use these original bells or coils. So we'll have to see how, what the solenoid's like, if it's any good, and kind of get into that and see what we're going to do there. But he always likes to have a switch on his telephone so that he can turn the ringer off, the bells off. And so we'll have to figure out where we can install a switch of some sort so he can turn the bells off if he decides to turn the bells off. But it's a really cool telephone. It's going to be a work in progress. There's quite a bit to do because this is a pulse type telephone, and it's only going to dial out in pulse. And to change it over is the conversion that it needs. And we'll do some more video once we start getting further into this conversion. But he's got a 10 key here. So it's a really cool telephone. And HG always sends in these kind of unique conversions and telephones that he finds. Just trying to set the keypad back in where it belongs. And that's kind of how it looks when it's together. And somebody has definitely been through the telephone, and I'm not sure for what reason. Maybe it didn't work at all, and they were kind of going into it to see what was going on with it. But we'll get some more video of this in the future, and as we make progress with it and kind of move forward with the conversion. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. This is HG's telephone from Delaware. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.